You seem serious and professional, which is a good thing, but do you actually enjoy watching racing? I'm just curious. This is actually a great question, and it's quite relevant to how I've been feeling about racing recently. When I first got into racing around 2009, 2010, from a professional point of view, I was into racing kind of long before that, about 10 years before that. I wanted to go racing as much as I possibly could. I wanted to watch racing TV as much as I could. I wanted to listen to every pundit as much as I could. I was absorbing. And, I was enthusiastic about the whole thing. And for years, I went to the Cheltenham Festival every year. I travelled around the UK. I was very, very lucky from 2012 onwards that I got paid to go racing, essentially. I could go racing whenever I want. And, for a good amount of that time, I had a press badge as well. So I was an accredited journalist and I could get into the races for free. And on top of that, I worked for the largest independent horse racing website in the country. So I was often invited up to VIP boxes on big days and all that stuff. I've been in VIP boxes at Royal Ascot, Cheltenham, York, all the big meetings, Glorious, Goodwood, all of them. So for years, I lived this very privileged kind of professional life within racing. Obviously, it was centered around my tipping and my writing and my following and stuff. But outside of that, I was in the betting industry as well as part of an affiliate website. So there was more to it than just my tipping and my betting and gambling and all that kind of stuff. And it was probably 100%, it was the best years of my life professionally. The most fun kind of from a social point of view and from a racing point of view. But as I've got older now, this is all kind of in my mid-20s. I'm 38 now. I've just turned 38. And my life has changed an awful lot, especially since the pandemic. We had a baby in 2019. And I don't go racing anymore, really. I don't have a desire to go racing anymore. The idea of going to the Cheltenham Festival, Cheltenham now for me is just like you're spending £8 on a plastic cup of Guinness. You're surrounded by drunken bellends. The appeal of it is kind of gone for me. And watching racing, of course, I love watching racing. I love it. But at the same time, how I watch racing has changed. I watch racing every day, but I do it more on my terms now. I don't need to watch any punditry anymore. I don't need to listen to the opinions of anybody. I barely need the commentator. Sometimes I watch replays in silence. I don't even listen to the commentator. I just watch the race. Sometimes if I watch and say a 3-mile handicap chase, I will use the skip along kind of the slider to kind of slide in between fences. Once I know where my horse is positioned, I can save time, save precious seconds just by sliding along to the next fence, watch how it jumps, slide along a few seconds, watch how it jumps, and just gradually watch a race like that. So, the way that I have processed racing and take racing in has changed dramatically, simply because my life has changed. I'm more focused on being a father now, on my home life. I'm very, very comfortable with my knowledge within racing. My process of how I assess a horse race. For years I was taking on information from loads of different people who I respected, and I was learning. I was learning. But 22 years into doing this, I don't really need to learn much more in terms of how I fundamentally see a horse race, if that makes sense. So I don't fucking need to listen to any of these guys on racing TV and ITV Racing. Like, I don't watch any of it because I just don't care. And these are a lot of these people are people that I love and respect and have worked with, on racing TV. These are a lot of them are my former colleagues, But the cold truth is, I don't care what they have to say from a racing point of view before a race. Because I've already made my opinion on it. So if I'm watching ITV Racing, say during Royal Ascot, I'll have it on mute. I don't need all the fashion news. I don't need all the pre-race build-up. I don't need the paddock views of Francesca Kumani or whoever the hell is they've got in the paddock. I respect all these people. They do a fantastic job, but I don't need it. So I just take in racing on my terms now because I found my comfort zone within the sport. And overall it's a good thing. You know, maybe at some point in my life I'll start going racing again and start enjoying it again and all that kind of stuff. I still love racing. Racing is my life essentially. But yeah, I consume the sport in a different way now because of the way that my life is.